include music and singing, putting groups together myself. Then meeting the Oak Ridge Boys while I was singing and part-time groups that I put together. And so meeting them and get to know them and get to talk with them about possibilities. And so that's how I got to know the Oak Ridge Boys. And then I made a trip to Nashville to talk to Smitty Gavin, their lead singer at that time, and expressed my interest in wanting to be a part of what the Oak Ridge Boys were doing. And so 2 months later, I got a call to come try out for it, and I did. That was in January of '65. I joined up with the Oaks, and it's been a wonderful ride and a lot of wonderful memories. And thank God we're still singing together. It's evolved, different members, but there was the group that we all helped put together. There was myself, Dwayne Allen singing lead, and Joe Bonsall singing tenor, and Richard Sturban singing bass. That particular lineup just celebrated 50 years last year being together. And Joe was the last one to join, and then he was also the first one to leave us and to say farewell earlier here this year. And but he had to get off the road at the end of last year. And God works in mysterious ways. A young man, Ben James, came into our life. We sang a show that he was on, and Joe handed him a mic. They come to join us on the end of our show, and was out there singing Elvira and Bobby Sue with us. And Joe handed Ben a mic and told him to take a lead. So Ben did. He sang one of the verses, and that was the first time we actually sang with Ben. But he's a kid. I got grandkids older than him, but he's really brought a youthful young spark to our group. And Tony Brown heard him. I brought Tony over, invited him over to my house here, and Ben stopped by, and he heard Ben sing. And Tony is a record producer. He had actually sang in the Oaks band back in the late 60s. He left us, went with Elvis Presley, and played piano for Elvis the last part of Elvis' career. And then he started producing records for RCA and MCA Records. Tony did. He produced he discovered Alabama and signed them to RCA. And he also produced a lot of albums. He's produced 20 albums with George Strait. He's produced several with Reba McEntire. He worked a lot with Vince Gill, and he heard Ben James sing here at my house. He said, "Man, you have a voice like I've only heard one other voice like." He said, I've known Vince Gill for 40 years. He said, he's one of the best singers in country music. He said, but you have a voice like Vince Gill. You're a brand new generation with a voice like Vince Gill. And so that's a pretty high compliment coming from a record producer like Tony Brown to see him one. And I never really thought of Ben as that being that close to sounding like Vince Gill until after Tony mentioned that. And really, he does. He has that. It's the bluegrass side of his growing up and the way he expresses the feelings of different words and songs. It's the feel that bluegrass singers have that some other singers don't have. But it's the putting the emotion in each word sometimes of how they put feeling in all the words. Anyhow, Ben James is doing an incredible job with the Oak Ridge Boys singing this year. a young generation of singers that can keep the torch of the Oak Ridge Boys going for years to come. We have quite a collection of our catalog of songs and music is extensive, and again, we're out on our what was to be a farewell tour that was booked when Joe was still with us, and now then that Joe has had to say farewell, it's kind of brought us feeling different about what we're doing here. We've seen how God can work in mysterious ways and how He's brought such a great young singer and voice and a person with strong character to the Oak Ridge Boys with Ben James. And I think it gets time for each one of us that we should pass the torch to another generation to keep. That's how we all got here. We replaced someone else, and I think that we should be doing